So we're very grateful to have the current president of ISFL, Herbert Puchta, with us today. Herbert's a master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming, and almost 2 decades he's carried out research into the application of findings from cognitive psychology to the teaching of English as a foreign language. And Herbert's a course book writer, many series of course books from young learners to adults, and also works on articles and resource books, one of which my personal favourite is his work on multiple intelligences. Herbert, thank you for coming today. So we'd like to ask you, what is the relevance, as you see it, of ISFL as an organisation for English language teachers today?
Well, as you probably know, the mission of ISFL is to develop, link and support English language teaching professionals worldwide. And I think it's this mission that is more relevant than ever before. ISFL is a platform of networking that offers opportunities to teachers to share their ideas, to share their information through on our discussion lists on the internet, through cooperation with our special interest groups. We have 14 special interest groups, through the annual conference. Last year's conference in Cardiff was the biggest ever with over 2,000 participants. And next year's, I'm quite confident, next year's in Harrogate will be a huge success again. Through our online conference, in collaboration with the British Council, the online conference, Cardiff Online, is still available, and we have so far had more than 20,000 individual delegates, so to speak, participants, using the online platform, watching the plenary sessions or other sessions there, watching the interviews with experts and so on and so forth. I'd like to stress that we don't see ISFL as a top-down system. So in other words, here's ISFL developing and linking and supporting teachers out there. It's very much a networking platform where people share their ideas, where people learn from one another, and it seems to be very relevant given the interest that people in many countries have. Also, since I'm here in Chile, and I'm very pleased that I've had the opportunity to work with colleagues from our associate teacher association, ISFL Chile here. There are more than 70, I believe, currently teacher associations in a lot of countries worldwide.
And in your experience of ELT worldwide with the conference delegates and the special interest groups and the discussion forums on the ISFL website, what are the common challenges, the common themes that ELT professionals are facing around the world?
That's a good question. I mean, my own interests as a methodologist lie mainly in the area of teaching young learners and teaching teenagers. And of course, some of the big challenges are how can we motivate our students better? How can we, facing the fact that more and more children, teenagers seem to have attention span problems, etc., etc. What's the right answer to those challenges? How can we make our teaching even more successful by addressing those issues? I gather that when you look into other areas that I'm not a specialist in, like business English or others, there must be common kind of like challenges too.
Thank you. What changes do you see in the world of ELT in the coming years? What's your prediction for the future?
Not too big a question.
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I knew the answer to that question would be great. I think that certainly at this day and age we are faced with the big challenge to use technology in a meaningful way. There's no doubt that all these these new opportunities from the internet to DVDs and CD-ROMs and blogging and Twittering and what have you. That all these technological means are opportunities. But at the same time, of course, maybe we need to make sure that these opportunities are used in a principled way, so that they enrich our teaching, they help to maximize the outcomes of our teaching, rather than just being there and teachers feel a lot of pressure, I have to use those things, without always being clear what the advantages or the possible disadvantages are.
Yes, absolutely. Your own work has been in human-linguistic programming. Do you think the insights into the way the mind processes language have received enough attention from ELT publishers and the big publishing houses?
Do you think they should have adopted more these insights that you've learned?
Well, I mean, I am, as you have mentioned, NLP is one area of interest of mine. But I wouldn't see it in a very narrow way. What is of great concern to me is the individual student and how the students' minds work, how they process information, how we can enrich our teaching by taking different kinds of processing modes, learning modes, learner styles, etc. seriously, and how we can assist the individual students. Because as we know, there's not one way of getting it right. There's not one way of learning grammar. There's not one way of remembering words. There's not one way of deducing meaning from a text, etc. So I would say that what I've been concerned with over the last 20 years maybe is applying findings from areas like cognitive psychology to the teaching of English. And I think that yes, there's been growing interest among teachers and publishing houses alike over the last few years in making our teaching more efficient by taking seriously the fact that individuals learn in different ways.
And thinking about you personally, what projects are you working on now, or as you have lined up when your term as IHL president is finished?
I'm currently working on new editions of two of my most successful course books, one for young learners and one for teenagers. So this is what I'm currently involved in. There are a number of projects that I'm currently thinking about and discussing also with my publishers. One area that I find very interesting, that's something that I would like to write another resource about, something you mentioned, the kind of resource which I write, is how we can, at the same time while we're teaching language to children, also develop their thinking skills. That's an area that has always been of interest to me, and that's something that I'm probably going to write a book about.
I'll look forward to seeing it and using it in our classroom. Thanks very much for joining us,
And please enjoy the rest of your time in Chile.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.